Welcome back to the class of Social Science, Civics, chapter number 1, part 4, for class 9. The name of the chapter is Democracy in the Contemporary World. I repeat, Democracy in the Contemporary World. In the contents of part 4, we are going to discuss about recap of part 1, 2 and 3. Next, democracy at the global level. Next, it will be, in this we are going to discuss about UNO, that is United Nations Organizations, United Nations Security Council, International Monetary Fund, that is IMF. In this IMF, we are going to discuss especially about World Bank. Now, let's have a quick recap of part 1, 2 and 3. In part 1, we discussed what is democracy, what are the types of government found in the world. At present, only two types of democracy we are able to see. One is democratic type of government and another one is called the dictatorship. Dictatorship is usually totally been finished now. Only some places we are able to see the monarchy form of government. But that also is being converted into constitutional monarchy, not the monarchy form of government. So basically we can say that after the analysis it has been found that 99% of the countries throughout the whole world are following the democratic type of government. Now what is democratic type of government is? Democratic type of government is a government where the public elect their own representatives to govern the nation, where the involvement of the public or the citizens of the country are very important for running the government, running the country, because the citizens are said to be the soul of the country. Now, in the democratic type of government, we are having two types of democratic government. One is said to be direct democracy, another is said to be the indirect democracy. In the direct type of democracy, we are having where the citizens are directly involved in the taking decisions for the country. For example, Switzerland. Now, in the indirect democracy, where the people elect their own representatives to govern the nation and those representatives take the decision for the citizens on behalf of them. Now for this, what is a perfect example we can have? We can have the example of India itself, because in India we elect our own representatives who form the nation and who form the government to govern the citizens. Now, in the next second part, we especially discussed about two tails of democracy. In the two tails of democracy, we discussed about Chile and next one, Poland. Exactly, the Chile and Poland. Now, these two countries are very different. Firstly, they were having a democratic type of government in Chile. Salvador Allende, who was the president of Chile. Now, he was a very generous president, and what he did, he reformed or he made so many policies for the betterment, especially for the poor people, now which was not being liked by the rich class people, because the discrimination was widely spread at that time. Now, in that case, what happened? Slowly and steadily, the military rule came into existence, and that military coup attacked on the president house and said Salvador Allende that you have to resign from your job. But he said that no, neither I am not going to resign from my job, nor I am going to leave the country. Now in this case, what the military coup did? The military coup attacked the president house and start bombing it, and in that bombing, President Salvador Allende expired. He was killed. After that, General Augusto Pinochet came into existence. Now here Pinochet came with a dictatorship form of government, where with the help of his army people he started ruling the country, and for 14 years he did the same, and he forced the people to follow the rules and regulations whatever he made. Now in that case, One day he thought that, see, for such a long duration I am been governing this nation and I think that people really like me, so I should go for some proposal to ask the people whether they love me or not. So in that case he passed for a referendum. Referendum is said to be a proposal. Now here, as a referendum was being passed inside the country, the people objected and said that no, we don't want you to be our king or to be our ruler. So here, after this, again the elections held and a new person came into existence, that was Michelle Bachelet. Now Michelle Bachelet was the daughter of General Bachelet, Augustin Bachelet, who was in favor for the Allende's rule and the policies. They used to believe very much in that yes, he did really a very good thing for us. But during the Pinochet's rule, her family and her and her mom was miserably tortured. They were put behind the bars, and they were being miserably tortured over there. And after just overgoing that bad condition, when Michelle Bachelet came and became as a president, she just changes the reforms. She made the world happy. She made the Chile happy, the people happy. You know what she said? That why we always used to have power in our hand. Why not can we change this country just on the making the country full with care, love and affection. Because I have already gone with such a terrible pain in my childhood. And since then, but still I want that whatever I have faced, I don't want that my public, my people should face, my family should face all these things. And this country is my family. So after when the Michelle Bachelet came into existence as a president, she just changed the nation. She just made such a uniform figure in the Chile that Chile is now becoming in a reputed country, and it has been really known just because of Michelle Bachelet. Now what happened in the Poland? When the Poland, the people were being governed by a Union Party. Now that Union Party was actually taking this a trade union party, and it was actually taking care of the trade field. Now here that party as was been governing, they told that no other party is being allowed to form any sort of government. Now here Wałęsa came into existence. Now Wałęsa was a person who was also a labor. Now here he was an engineer over there, but he was being terminated from his job. And why he was being terminated from his job? Because he asked for a good or high pay scale. Now in this revolt, as he asked, he was being terminated. After the termination, he just went and joined the strike people. The strike started. Now what was that strike for? The strike for was removing the crane and also making the women not to be punished or not to be terminated without any reason, because the trade union party and other people related to that area are being terminating or making the women miserably tortured. They were unnecessarily blaming them and making them out of the terminated from the job. Now here when Wałęsa came with did the strike, and after that the strike ended with some treaty, with some agreement. Now in that he signed those agreement and agreed for all those things. Now in that agreement it was being said that yes, you can form your own separate trade union also. But in that case there were some criteria, rules and regulations that you have to follow. Now after this thing, again just after a short period of time, a trade union came into existence that was known as Solidarity. Solidarity was a trade union which came into under the leadership of Wałęsa. Now that party was really a very good, and when the elections held, you will be surprised to hear that the Solidarity Party won 99% of vote out of 100 and made that previous trade union party demolished from the country. And after that, Poland came into a new existence, a new world, where the democratic form of government was being formed, where the people was living very happily, where the people liked their representatives who are going to govern the nation, because whatever they did is just for the right of the public. Now this was the Chile, and this was the story of Poland. Now after this we discussed in the part 3 about, especially about Ghana, Iraq, some neighborhood countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar and Nepal. Now what were the changes that occur over here? Now in Iraq we discussed about Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, who was a cruel dictator of Iraq, who really miserably tortured the people and made and collected the money just to live his own lavish life. He built 23 lavish palaces for himself inside Iraq on different places. Now he was said to be such a confidential person that no one can guess that where he, from one place to another, he walks and moves out very confidentially, very secretly. Now in that case, as the torture was coming, moving further and rising up high, what happened? Finally UN decided to stop this, and the USA started attacking on Iraq, especially Saddam Hussein. Now here the fight started in 2003, and it took 3 years which complete, and lastly finally in 2006 Saddam Hussein was being killed with the help of such a long war. It happened that army forces, air forces, chemical explosions, so many things were being used to destroy whatever the information they have regarding Saddam Hussein, because that person has to be really killed, because whatever the thing he was doing was really very, very wrong. Now next came about Ghana. Now in Ghana what happened? Ghana was a monarchy form of government. Now Ghana was actually a monarchy, but later on shifted into dictatorship, and finally again came to the presidentalship, a democratic form of government where Nizama became the first president and the prime minister of Ghana, and Ghana took its main important place in the history of the world. Now in the part 3 we also discussed about whatever the democratic change occurred during among our neighborhood. How many countries do we have in our neighborhood? We have Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and anyone else? Sri Lanka and Maldives. Now Sri Lanka and Maldives are actually related to the coastal area, so they are little bit far. But here Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan and Afghanistan, they all are sharing the landscape area. So here firstly we come and discuss about Pakistan and Bangladesh. What happened over there? In 1990, Pakistan actually we started with the democratic form of government, but after some time in 1990, General Pervez Musharraf just occupied the Pakistan with the help of and formed the dictatorship form of government over there. Now finally the dictatorship is totally been ended in Pakistan, but still for a very long duration they have to face that problem of dictatorship. Now in the Bangladesh, once as it got free and separated from India, it started its democratic form of government, and still today in Bangladesh democratic type of government is continued. Now comes to Nepal. Nepal, as you all know, was a monarchic type of government. It is a monarch country, but later on in 2005 the king just stopped his dominancy and told the people to make their own party, and which came and adopted a constitutional type of monarchy in Nepal. But finally in 2007 Nepal also became a democratic form of government, and monarchy or the constitutional monarchy was totally banished over there. Vanished is totally clear. Now only a democratic form of government exists in Nepal. Now comes to Myanmar. Now Myanmar, previously it was known as Burma. Myanmar is said to be a very important place, especially with a special name that is called Aung San Suu Kyi. Aung San Suu Kyi, who was actually a leader of a political party, but she was a great novelist, she was a great social activist also. She is, and you know what, for 60 years, since the 30 years, after 30 years, she was being kept in her house itself. She was being locked inside her house, by which she cannot raise her voice towards the injustice or towards the activities, whatever is going on inside the country. Finally, after 30 years, when again the elections were held, Aung San Suu Kyi won the election and came to the prominent figure in Myanmar. So this was actually what we discussed and studied about in part 1, 2 and 3. Now let's discuss about democracy at the global level. Now what do you mean by global level and why the democracy is being required at the global level? Any guess you have? Yes, now in this I can just say democracy. Democracy, you know, everything and every purpose is being done. The main objective of democratic type of government or democratic thing is to make the people happy, to make the people satisfied with rules and regulations. So in this, when we are talking about throughout the whole globe, whole world, yes, obviously we require peace and harmony everywhere, in every country, in every state, in every city. Why so? Because if anything or any problem occurs in one place, obviously it used to hamper the other place too. And this word is being taken as a part of a family in the global type. Now in the global scenario, as the word is taken in a family, so obviously we are going to get more concerned about our family members, as we usually do at our home. Now here democracy is being taken to the global level, where some special type of organization were established to take care and to maintain peace and harmony throughout the whole world, and where all the countries are being said to follow the rules and principles very strictly. Otherwise, they are going to be get separated from the world. It doesn't mean that they are going to put out of the world, they are going to be out from the earth planet, going to exist in the Mars or somewhere else. No, it doesn't mean. It means that they are not going to get any type of support from other countries. But just an example of your home. If you do anything wrong, which is actually was very, very wrong, what the other people used to do of your family members, they stop talking to you for some time. They give you punishment. Okay, so in that case, what is this done? Why it is done? Just to make you realize your fault, to make you realize that what you have done wrong. So same like here, it happened over there. Over there, in the global level, as a democracy was established, same like some organizations were being made to control the work or the functions of the country, by which the country should not beat each other, the country should not blame each other, the country should not fight among each other. So here the first organization that was made, it was UNO, that is said to be United Nations Organization. United Nations Organization, which was established in 1945. Okay, it is especially organized to maintain peace inside the world. Now here what happens? Maintaining peace inside the earth, this word means, it means, for example, I could say, what happens, what you do, your grandparents used to do, what your parents used to do at the home. As being the elders, they used to have a command on the family. The family members have to listen them. The family members have to obey follow the rules and regulations of the customs of the house or any other criteria, just to avoid what? Avoid arguments, avoid fighting, avoid violence inside the house. Same like here, the UNO was being organized to establish the international law, security, economic development, social equality and human rights among the citizens of the whole world. Now, it was being founded to replace the League of Nations to stop war and just to provide a platform for dialogue. Now, what do dialogue means? Dialogue means a right to speak something for their own betterment. For example, if India requires something good for themselves, yes, India has a right. They can speak up. As you all know, and we have already just got information from the TV channels we hear that the China used to fight openly with India, or Pakistan was used to fight with India in form of the terrorists. So what happens over there? What the right of India is? India got up in the UNO, and they went and they said that we want peace and harmony, but Pakistan is not supporting in maintaining peace and harmony, so they should be punished. So in that case, what UNO is taking? UNO has taken a step. They had stopped all type of financial or all type of any sort of support to Pakistan, just to make them realize that yes, they are doing something wrong. Now in this case, what actually dialogue means? Dialogue means we have a right to speak, freedom to speak for our own rights. Okay. Now in UNO, 193 members are being elected every year for Pakistan. Okay. And for the president, every year elections are being done. Now, here in the UNO, we have a General Assembly. General Assembly is just, you can take in a form of a parliament. So what is UNO? UNO stands for United Nations Organization, which has been established in 1945 to maintain peace throughout the whole world. It also maintains and check out for the betterment of international law, maintaining security, economic development, social equality and human rights. It was just gave a platform to speak on the international basis. Yes, if I have any problem with China, or if I have any problem, India is having any problem with Pakistan, obviously over there India has a right to speak for their own security, for their own betterment, for their own development. That's what UNO stands for. Now, the UN, that is United Nations, had four main purposes. Number one is to keep peace throughout the world. Yes, this we have already stated that it used to maintain peace throughout the whole world. Number two is to develop friendly relations among nations. Number three, to help nations work together to improve lives of the poor, to conquer hunger, disease and illiteracy. I repeat, to help nations to work together to improve the lives of the poor people, to conquer hunger, disease and illiteracy, and to encourage respect for each other's rights and freedoms. Next point is to be center for harmonizing the actions of nations to achieve these goals. Now, how can we understand these four purposes? Take an example of your own family. Now here, what your grandfather or your grandmom or your parents used to do. Just imagine you are living in a joint family. Your grandparents are there, your uncle, aunt, it can be your chacha, chachi, or your taichi or tauchi, some like, and your parents are there, and you all are kids over there. Now over there, what is the main purpose of those elder family or the elder people? They used to maintain harmony. Rules and regulations are being decided, work are being distributed, by which the people should live their life happily. There should be no fight among each other. Every person should develop on the economic basis also, on the social aspect also, and on the personal development also. So over here what we learned how to respect each other, how to adjust with each other, how to overcome with the problems of the home, how to make the whole family live in one family, in a one piece order. Okay, just for example, we have these fingers are here, but it has all been attached with this wrist. So we can say that the wrist is said to be the UN over here, and rest the fingers and the thumb and whatever we have on the hand, that on the palm, that is all what's said to be the word. Now here the word is all coming joined together with this UN, and every person has to follow what this wrist is. The wrist is telling it to move down. Oh yes, obviously it will move down. Up, then up. Same like here the UN used to do. It used to make all the people all combine together and to live, make the citizens of each and every citizen of this world to live peacefully with the overall development whatever they can achieve. This is actually done, and the main purposes of UN. Now next come with the UN Security Council, United Nations Security Council. Actually students, United Nations Security Council is actually being set up for maintaining the security purpose. Then what for security required for? No one country is going to hurt each other, but the security is maintaining for making the country protect from the threatening path. For example, as you have all heard, that China always used to threaten India that yes, we are going to attack and we will have a fight, we will have a war. Pakistan usually attacks on India on the basis of terrorism. So this was just to provide the security towards all the public of any nation. The Security Council is being made, and this was actually being done especially when a complaint used to come from one country that why the other countries are dominating them, why the other countries are interfering inside their work, why the other countries are wanting them to conquer each other. This is not in the policy of UN. So over there, just to protect those things, the UN established the UN Security Council. Now in this UN Security Council, usually all the countries are the member, are part of General Assembly. I told you all about General Assembly. General Assembly is said to be a type of a parliament where all the leaders used to gather together, meet each other, and they discuss on the political issues. Now here in the Security Council, 5 members are the permanent members. Now who are they? USA, Russia, China, France, United Kingdom. I repeat, USA, Russia, China, France, United Kingdom. And after that, 10 non-permanent members are elected after every 2 years. Now here what happens after every 2 years? Rest apart from these 5 countries, 10 more members, non-permanent members are being elected on the basis of their development. Now students, see what actually the difference is. USA, Russia, China, France and United Kingdom. These countries are said to be a totally developed countries. Now in the 10 non-permanent members, the country which came over here are the countries which are in a developing process. It means they are not being fully developed. So here after every 2 years, as per their performance and as per their conditions are being in lies, after that 10 non-permanent members are being elected. So this in the UN Security Council, we can say that this council used to work for providing security to the nation, and in the UN Security Council we are having the General Assembly. General Assembly, which is said to be a sort of a parliament. Now let's come with a detailed discussion on the United Nations Security Council. As I told you earlier, United Nations Security Council, where when a complaint concerning a threat of peace, that yes, we are going to hamper your peace of inside any country, over there the council's first action is usually to recommend that the parties try to reach agreement of by peaceful means. Firstly, just like what Mahatma Gandhi used to do during the Indian Revolution, during the freedom fighting revolution, what he did? He started that non-violence, and what he did for the non-violence, he always used to say, instead of fighting, First talk to each other. First sit with each other. Try to understand the problem and try to find out the solution of the problem in spite of or instead of fighting with each other and on the unnecessary means. So here the United Nations Security Councils work like this. They only work when used to get any information regarding the threatening in between any two countries. Firstly, they go and talk on a peaceful manner. Their agreement should be done between them by which just on the basis of conversation the fight should be ended. It can be said that the Cold War should be ended. Now here what the council used to do. Council may set forth principles for such an agreement, undertake investigation and mediation in some cases. Yes, of course, they can go for investigation that what actually the problem is, how did the problem occur and how did the problem came into existence and who were the people involved in this problem. Dispatch a mission. Yes, here they used to dispatch a small group, a troop of a person, people who go inside those countries to inspect and evaluate the matter. Appointment special envoys. Now here what they used to appoint one special, 2 or 3 special people inside that country on behalf of them who used to going to take care of that particular issue inside that country. Now next is, or they used to request the Secretary General to use his good offices to achieve pacific settlement of the dispute. Now here even sometimes the Secretary General is also being told or to be advised to provide whatever the better or best idea or advice or any rule or regulation or any agreement point he can tell them to maintain peace and harmony inside the country. This was actually being done by the UN, that is United Nations Security Council. Now, continued with the United Nations Security Council, the next point comes over there. What happens when the dispute becomes so much hostile? Now, hostiles over here means complicated, very serious. Again, among the countries, between the 2 countries or 3, among the 3 countries or 4 countries, the situation is converting into worse and worse form. So over here, the Security Council takes some important measurement. Now in this measurement, they used to want to get some types of policies which used to make, and the basic motto we can say is to end up the problem as soon as possible. Now what are those steps that usually Council can take over here? They are, number 1, issue ceasefire directives that can help prevent an escalation of the conflict. Now, what do you mean by issue ceasefire directive? Ceasefire directives are those directives or principles which are being used at the time of emergency, okay, by the Security Council for the complicated or the conflicting or the rivalry countries. Now here, these directives are being only set to end up the condition, the worst condition or the tensions or the problem or conflicts as soon as possible. Now in this conflicts, in this directives, we can say what usually happens. See students, as in every school or any of the country, we are having some rules and regulations we have to follow. And if an emergency occurs, there are some set of different sort of directives which has been implied inside the country for the safety of the people. Same like here, over by the Security Council, some ceasefire directives are being decided to end up the conflicts among the countries and to make the citizen of those countries safe and secure. Next is dispatch military observers or a peacekeeping force to help reduce tensions, separate opposing forces and establishing a peaceful settlements may be sought. Now what does it mean? It means, do you remember I told you about Saddam Hussein? What happens with the Saddam Hussein? Saddam Hussein was not bothering about the warnings given by the UN, and finally UN decided, and the Security Council decided, that they are going to take a measurement and take a step against Saddam Hussein, and for that they enforced the military forces. They had their military attack on Iraq, especially on the Saddam Hussein, to end up the dictatorship and to end up the kingship or the rulership of Saddam Hussein. Now here, it not only the military forces, but also there are some peacekeeping forces which used to help in reduce tensions. Okay, they also work to between two countries or two forces who are fighting with each other. They used to maintain separate from each other. They used to make them not to meet, not to talk, nothing. And next is that establish a very calm and a quiet, peaceful environment where the people can stay happily. Now beyond these steps of the taking military help or any forceful people, they also can take important emergency measurement. Now what are those measurements? Number one is, we can say, they can just stop the economic sanctions. Economic sanctions over here means where they stop for providing them any sort of financial help. Okay, next is arms embargoes. Now arms embargoes over here means they can take away all the military things, military equipments, whatever the countries are having, okay, from them, and they used to keep them with themselves only, by which the people, the rulers of both the countries or the army people of both the countries cannot take any step against forcefully or a weapon step against any other country. Next, financial penalties. Now here financial penalties over here means that where, as you know, in International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, what they used to do, they used to provide some sort of financial help. Now in this case, if any country breaks up the rules and regulations of providing peace and harmony within the countries or with the country, other countries over there, they have to go for some financial penalties. Same like as we are having in India, any person who is doing any sort of illegal activity, either they have been told to give any financial penalty, like for example, you have to give a penalty of ₹1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, or you have to go for a jail behind the bars for 2 years, 3 years, or any other criteria as per the rules and regulations written in the Constitution. Same like here, through the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund, again this economic financial penalties are being set for the countries, and they have to give these penalties to the Security Council people, okay, to the UN, and restrictions, and even also they can go for the travel bans, that no person is being allowed to go inside that country or go out of that country. Other countries can also be told to follow these measurements. Okay, this is called a travel ban. Now here next is said to be the severance of diplomatic relations. Now here it means that the people are being told to maintain peace and harmony, okay, and they should not go for any diplomatic sort of relations with other. For example, if there is A country and B country, and here A and B both are rivalry to each other, they are having some tension. So over there they cannot go for any diplomatic decision, step. For example, the neighboring countries of A and B is C. Now here they cannot ask C for arguing with them, or A cannot go and take the help of C, that I want to fight against B, so please come and help me out. This sort of diplomatic things are not going to be allowed inside the UN procedures. Next is said to be the blockade. Now what does a blockade means? Blockade means that every sort of things, every sort of help which is being provided by the United Security Council or United Nations, they are being totally banned and stopped over there. And the last one is said to be, or even collective military actions. Now over here, right now in the previous scenario, only some or few military people were being sent to maintain peace and harmony, but now it can be taken as a collective form. Now what does that collective form means? That they can take the help of not only the military people but army, air force people also. Some of the chemical attacks as it has been done in the Iraq with the Saddam Hussein to end up his policies and to end up his ruling power, dictatorship form of government within Iraq. So these are actually the Security Council can take the steps for maintaining peace and harmony. Why they can do so? Because maintaining peace and harmony within this whole world is their basic motto. The basic principle, the basic objective or the basic goal of Security Council to maintain peace and harmony and to provide safety and security to every citizen of this earth, of all the countries throughout the whole world. Now, what happens when the dispute leads to hostilities? Now, hostilities means over here a very good war. Now, here the council used to take some primary concerns, some steps the council can take. What are those steps? Issue ceasefire directives that help prevent an escalation of the conflict. Now here ceasefire directives means where they make some special types of rules, some special types of policies to be evaluated and being put it or just told them to follow those things properly, otherwise they are going to take back the support whatever they are getting from the UN. Dispatch military observers or a peacekeeping force to help reduce tensions. Now, dispatch military observers. Now, what does it mean? You remember I told you about Iraq and Saddam Hussein? Now, here what happened? When the Saddam Hussein was doing and following his dictatorship very badly and the people were miserably tortured and totally got frustrated because human rights was totally banned. Freedom to speak was totally banned. So no one was being authorized to speak and do anything. So here the UN and took the help of the military observers. They made them attack on Iraq and especially on Saddam Hussein and made the army, the navy, whatever the troop he was having, all the palaces and everything got destroyed. They all vanished. They all destroyed it. So same like here, they also they used to dispatch the military observers, okay, to reduce the tensions. They used to separate opposing forces. They used to maintain. Just example, what happens when you and your brother is fighting? What happens over there? Or brother and sister is fighting, or sister or brother is fighting. What happens over there? The elder of the people, family members, they used to come in between and used to make them separate from each other and make them console with each other's point. Now establish a calm in which peaceful settlements may be sought. Yes, obviously, just for maintaining peace and harmony, they used to provide and they used to give ideas to maintain peace inside the countries. Beyond this, the council may opt for the enforcement measures. Now here, yes, of course, of enforcement measures over here means that council can go for the military force. Now, after the United Nations Security Council, let's discuss about International Monetary Fund, that is said to be IMF. Now, IMF actually is said to be the biggest bank, okay, the biggest money lender for any country in the world. That is IMF. There are about 187 members. Not have equal voting right, okay. Now here only some countries have the right for voting for coming towards the elections of IMF, and they are USA, Japan, France, UK, Saudi Arabia, China and Russia. Now again I repeat the name of the countries. Recap it. USA, Japan, France, UK, Saudi Arab, China and Russia. Only these countries have the rights of voting for the IMF scenario. Now IMF, International Monetary Fund. Now understand with this word itself. International, it means on the global basis. Monetary means some money aspect, some financial aspect, and fund means where you have some savings with yourself. Now here, this International Monetary Fund used to help for especially for the developing countries or underdeveloped countries. They are the countries, the citizens of the countries are not being able to get proper things on a proper basis because of the lack of money. They are not getting any sort of financial support. They are very, very poor in that criteria. They are not being able to overcome from the problems because of this. Now, students, one thing here in the IMF. Now, whenever we have any sort of geographical calamity, okay, any sort of earthquake or tsunami or any other disaster management sequence problems occur. Now here, International Monetary Fund used to provide fund to those countries to overcome that problem. What happened in the tsunami? When the tsunami where thousands of the people were killed. In many of the countries it happens, Philippines, Maldives, even India also. Okay, Sri Lanka was also in camper with this. Okay, and some parts of the Bangladesh, now in the Bay of Bengal. Now here, as these so many areas been hampered from that situation, so overcome that, what they required money to build up the houses, to make the proper facility towards the citizens who have been hampered over there. So for that, IMF used to help every citizen for getting and overcome for this above situation. This is actually IMF. Now for more about the IMF, we are going to discuss the next slide. So continuing with the International Monetary Fund, IMF. So we discuss now, IMF is an organization of 189 countries. I repeat, IMF is an organization of how many countries? 189. Working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade. I repeat once again, working to foster global monetary cooperation. Now what does it mean? It means that taking the whole nation's whole world in one nation and governing the work or the functions on the basis of global factors. Okay, secure financial stability. Yes, here they used to provide a financial sort of stability to every individual citizen and every individual country. Facilitate international trade. They used to provide or facilitate the international trade, where usually they go and towards making the people understand that what actually trade is on the basis of international purposes. See, one country can have, for example, India is said to be a land of spices. So many varieties are there, and but in coming to the process of petroleum, we used to go for the Saudi Arab areas, Afghanistan, the Iraq and Iran side, where they have a huge quantity of oil. Now, if we require all over here inside a house or inside a country, from where we can get it and we can avail it? We can avail it from Iraq, from the Saudi Arabia people. Now, for that, what we have to do? We have to make that proper bonding with them. A peaceful agreements will be there. Whenever the two country prime minister or president used to meet each other, okay, they used to travel in each other's country, they used to do some agreements. Now what those agreements stands for? The agreements used to stand for providing some, if country A is required something from country B, obviously that thing will be provided from country B. But In providing those facilities, country B requires some help again from country A, and vice versa procedure will go on. Country A will provide the same facility to whatever the country B require. So it was to provide a financial stability. Okay, international trade also develops. Okay, they used to promote high level of employment. Yes, of course, they used to provide. How? Because every state or every country is having their own technical criteria or technical skills. As we can say, so many Indian people are doing and settling in the abroad for the jobs. Okay, now economic growth and reduce the poverty. Poverty, which is said to be the worst disease of the world, which is making the people in a miserable condition. So actually IMF is used to work to reduce the poverty for the world, that every citizen should get a proper employment, and every citizen of this world should possess a good life structure or a living style. Now, IMF is created in 1945, as I have already told you. The IMF is governed by and accountable to 189 countries. Yes. Now that make up it's a near global membership. Obviously 189 countries, if 189 countries are taking care of one particular thing, obviously it is going to be on the international or on the global basis. The IMF's primary purpose. Now what is the primary purpose of IMF is? IMF's primary purpose is to ensure the stability of our world, stability of the International Monetary Fund. It means no one could expend the money unnecessary, or they cannot allow to become extravaganza. Now here the system of exchange rates and international payments are totally being decided by the country, how much you have to pay for how much amount. This is, for example, again, if I'm going to America, obviously require a dollar. Now, when American is coming towards India, what it requires? It requires the Indian currency. Now, the amount of converting $1 into Indian currency is totally been decided by the IMF. Only that this much amount you have to pay for. If I want to buy the $1, just I want to buy $1 for my side, obviously I will pay $60. This has been totally decided by the International Monetary Fund. Now, the fund also mandated and was updated in 2012, include all the macroeconomic and financial sector issues. Now, macroeconomic, what does it mean? Now, students, in the macroeconomics, actually we are taking the big criteria which is hampering in the work of the economy. Okay. Macro means in a very detailed wise. Micro, where we are having a study about each and every minute thing, that is said to be the micro. In the biology, you already know what the meaning of microorganisms means. Very small and very tiny. Now here macroeconomic means we have to take the economic conditions, economic problems, economic solutions on a very wide area. Now, why all ye used to take? They all used to take just to make the economic stable on the global level. So this was actually the IMF. And this how the IMF used to function. Now let's discuss about World Bank. I already told you that World Bank is related to the IMF, a part of a IMF. World Bank, which has been taken up in a group on the global level with 189 countries. Now it is done on the partnership basis, and 5 institutions are working together for sustainable solution. It means proper solution which helps to reduce poverty, okay, and build a proper prosperity inside all nations of the country. The bank group works with country, governments, the private sector, civil society organizations, regional development banks, think tanks, and other international institutions on issues ranging from climate change, conflict, and food security to education, agriculture, finance and trade. Now what does it all mean? It means that, in short, the bank group works for the overall development of any country, any situation. In every situation they used to work. Just imagine, India has gone with the process just for the problem of any disaster management, as every country is been facing a major problem of corona. Now here, just to protect the individual citizen, to protect the country from this very dangerous disease, what is happening? World Bank is providing some special type of some extra amount in the monetary level or on the financial level to those countries who require money for the treatment of their citizens, and in which not only on the basis of the medicines and all, they are doing the help on their own basis, because this is actually being helped, or it is the main function of the World Bank, to help the citizens of any country, to help the people or the nations of any part of the world from develop from the poor level, or develop or remove the poverty or any bad financial situation they are facing through. Now here, not only they are working on the society organization basis, or some international institutions are not only working, but they are also working on the food security, the education level, the agriculture level, even financial level and the trade level too, to make the person or to make the country properly developed. So actually, in a short, I can say you all that World Bank usually functions to make every country change into a developed country. Okay, because you all know that a person can only develop its position on the basis of money. If they have the money, obviously they can enrich and they can live a good living style. Same like here, the World Bank is now providing, or the World Bank used to provide financial support by which every country should raise up their financial status inside the world. Now, short we can say, World Bank is a group of institutions, you all know. This is a group of 189 members. Now here, together, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. I repeat once again, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, and International Development Association, IDA, form the World Bank. Okay, these two, IBRD and IDA, combine together to form the World Bank. Maths example, equations, how you learn? You learn same like that. IBRD plus IDA is equal to World Bank. Now IBRD stands for the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and IDA stands for International Development Association, which provides financing, policy advice and technical assistance to the government of developing countries, while the World Bank group consists of 5 development institutions. Now what are those institutions? Number 1, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is you all know IBRD. IBRD, what is the function of IBRD is? IBRD provide loans, credits and grants. Next is, what do you mean by grants? Now grants means just in a favor of, okay, no problem, you just take this amount, okay, no need, not required to pay it back, because I can easily evaluate your bad situation. Okay. Next, International Development Association, IDA, provides low or no interest loan to low income countries, the countries which are unable to have a very good income. So for those, they used to provide either they provide a low interest rate loan or no interest rate loan. Next is the International Finance Corporation, that is IFC. IFC provides investment, advice and asset management to compare or to companies and governments. Okay, they used to provide all these things to the companies and the governments, by which they can govern the nation properly. They can make the people evaluate properly their financial situations. Now, continued with the IMF, that World Bank, we discuss now the Multilateral Guarantee Agency, MIGA, which ensures the lenders and investors against political risks such as war. Okay, what to invest, how to invest, especially in the time of World War. Okay, the people, when the people are facing any sort of war, they used to provide advices. International Center for the Settlement of Investment Dispute. Okay, ICSID. Now, this type of this center is actually being set up to just remove and abolish all the dispute which used to occur during the investment procedure. Settles investment disputes between investors and the country. All these efforts support the bank group's twin goals of ending extreme poverty by 2030. Now, World Bank has made one important effort, or they have made some goal. Now, what that goal is, that by 2030 we want that extreme poverty zone from this world should be removed. Okay, and boosting shared that prosperity of the poorest 40% of the population in all countries. Okay, now what another goal is, another goal, at least not for 100% we are going, but at least we are starting from a very lower amount. 40% of poor residing in every country should develop their economic style, their economic pattern. Okay, their living style, the way they used to live now, it should be increased enough. Now, in this, one more important thing for the World Bank is that President of the World Bank is nominated by the Finance Minister of US. Always make sure who used to govern the World Bank? President. Who is the president now? President is said to be the person who is being nominated by the Finance Minister of US. Now, next, one more important thing, that the president should be the citizen of US. This is a mandatory point. As students, you all know that if I want to become a leader in a political figure in India, what I have to be the main important criteria for electing the nation is, that is, you have to be the citizen of India. Same like here for the World Bank, if the president or the person is being nominated for the post of the president in World Bank, that person has to be the citizen of US. US means United States. Okay. Now here, United States, a president should be the citizen, and that president is only going to become the president, or will be able to become the president of World Bank. Now, in this whole presentation, what we discussed about democracy and how the democracy works on the global level, where every country is being provided with a sort of help whenever they require. Just like making this whole world a part of one family, and IBRD or the United Security Council or United Nations, they used to simply work as the head of the family members, where the function is to provide them every and individual type of support, whatever they require. Just example, you can regard UN as your grandparents, The UN Security Council is as your parents. Okay, IMF you can regard as your, especially the working people of your house, like your grandparents or your father or your mother. Okay, and whatever the people we are having, the citizens are here, are we the family members. So this was all about the democracy in the contemporary world. I hope you all have understood what this chapter belongs to and what is the meaning of democracy and why the democracy is so important in the world, and what are the essential factors which used to evaluate the democracy. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead.